Listen, you've got to help us. We're in an airplane 18,000 feet, and we don't know how to fly this thing.
A honeymoon turns to terror for Maggie and Roger.
Come in. Over.
Why, hello, Roger. A man with your wits and skills should be able to figure it out. Over. Yes.
From here on in, you are doomed.
Ryan's Hope, weekdays.
The 32-ounce jar of Hellman's mayonnaise is only 99 cents this week at Big Bear. That's my bear. That's my bear.
Looking for the right store could be a wild goose chase. Without the complete shopping guide, Ameritech Pages Plus, you might find yourself looking for something in all the wrong places. Lose all sense of direction. Arrive too late and come back empty-handed. Why leave yourself open to all that? Just open the book, Ameritech Pages Plus. Next to the phone, there's nothing better.
Well, here at Nissan North, construction on our new service center is almost complete. The good news is we've earned extra allocations of those hot-selling new Nissans, but the bad news is we got no place to park them. So right now, we're hammering home the savings. Is your trade worth $1,500? Because with our custom-designed lifestyle financing, you could be driving a new 87 Sentra, America's #1 import, as low as $89 a month, or a luxurious new 87 Maxima as low as $249 a month. Nail down savings now at Nissan North, where you're just minutes away from a better deal.
Actors Ed Ames and David Graff today on Midday.
Today, Magnum PI star Tom Selleck, laser technology to remove birthmarks, looking marvelous with Billy Crystal, and the man of the hour, Days of Our Lives, MacDonald Carey. There, thanks for being with us today. To millions of soap opera fans, today's man of the hour is lovable, grandfatherly Dr. Tom Horton on Days of Our Lives. As a two-time Emmy Award winner for Outstanding Actor in a Daytime Drama Series, he's recently celebrated his 20th anniversary on Days of Our Lives. Will you join me in welcoming MacDonald Carey? How are you feeling, Mac?
I never felt better.
You look good. Will you tell me something? You started playing doctors way back in radio in the 40s. Then you went on Broadway, then 50 films or so, and now Dr. Tom Horton for 20 years. What's so compelling about this guy that would keep you there? Because I know the workload and the work schedule on daytime.
Well, I think the fact that it's just work, you know. It's the reason I did it in the beginning. I wasn't getting any movies, and was running out. I'd done about 60 movies or so.
60, I was off by 10.
Well, anyway, I wasn't getting enough work, so, and I had 6 kids. It was a question of working. And that is the wonderful thing about the show.
Yeah, well, then it just gets in your blood. It must be like an extension of your family.
It is, really, because they're two. It's the one way you can commit bigamy, really, safely.
You know, I remember when the headlines were in Variety and the reporter, MacDonald Carey signs for daytime soap opera, and we all said, my heavenly days, you were the first guy, or one of the first.
Yeah, it was considered, well, you were moving down on the ladder if you did that, you know. Now a lot of people are very happy to get it.
Be very happy to get in there. But I think they underestimate the power of daytime, and someone once said to me, phooey, whether it's commercials or nighttime or middle of the night, success is success no matter where it is, and you certainly have managed that on this show. Your personal life has gone through some extensive changes. You said divorce, 6 children. How many grandchildren?
Just 2. Just 2 little boys, yeah.
Yeah, and that came late in life for you, the divorce, did it not?
Well, we've been married about 25, 26 years.
Yeah.
A lot of that time I was away. I was in really overseas doing shows, really 13 of those years, of the 26 years we were married. That is not successively, you know, but add them all up, and that was the amount of time I spent away.
How do you think some couples manage that, to be apart? I mean, it sounded like a sailor.
Obviously,
out of 26 years,
some people
13
don't.
gone.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet you do hear stories of the people who do manage it. Yeah. I just wonder what they do. Somebody ought to write a book about that, I would think.
Yeah. Well, I write about it, in a sense. I write a little poetry.
I know you do.
And I write on the side. Not on the side, really, because I take classes at UCLA, and it keeps me busy.
Have you always written poetry?
Yes, I started out writing in the beginning, and before I did anything else, I was a writer, or tried to be anyway, in school, and I got sort of sidetracked, in a sense, into acting, because that's where the money was, and I just went on with it.
You also been very candid and open about your recovery from alcoholism.
Yeah.
And
that was, of course,
step.
one of the reasons that the marriage broke up, because of the of alcoholism. But my writing has improved since I've stopped drinking, and my acting has improved, and certainly my relations with the children have improved. We're very close now, and it's I've just been very fortunate to have a whole new life, which I have right now.
Yeah, we often talk of the alcoholic as being not the only victim in this disease.
The family.
We talk about the family. How have your family recovered as well?
Yes, they have. They've, for the most part, though the recovery is an ongoing thing. You never really recover. In alcohol, you always say you're a recovering alcoholic.
Yes.
You know, you go on, because it's a long time, you know, that you've been tearing yourself down and tearing life down. And to restore takes a long time, and it's a continuing process, just as life is a continuing process of growing.
And where's your self-worth and self-esteem in all this, and how does that start to come back into your life?
That's the whole essence of it, I think, because the first thing you have to do is admit that you are an alcoholic. The second thing, you admit there's a power outside yourself, you know, that's greater than you are, whether it's, you call it God or whatever. And once you realize that, when you recognize that there is somebody stronger outside yourself, then you're on your way, and you must continue to believe that. And, of course, that's the essence of writing, of any art, is knowing that you are just the vessel, that something outside moves you and lets you do something.
Yeah, well,
and
sure.
brings, you sort of get an epiphany, you know.
Yeah, you mentioned poetry as one of your, and I know it's one of your passions.
Yeah.
Have you got a little something you could do for us real quick?
I'll have a short one for you.
All right.
We'll just,
short one?
Well, although I'll read this very... Oh, you want some shorter? Let's see.
All right.
Here's a short one about one of my boys, called Growing. My boys are all 6'4" and into their own lives now. We don't see each other much anymore. I remember we had a problem with one of them. He stammered. I kept trying to talk him out of it. Speech is important to an actor. The doctor said, "Your voice is very threatening to an 8-year-old. Tell him you don't mean to sound that way." I told him about my being an actor and all, and he never stammered again. One night after that, we were wrestling in the living room after dinner, and I let him toss me over his shoulder. "There," he said, "I threw the whole father."
Like that. That's great. We're glad to have you with us today. We've got some business to tend to. We've got Tom Selleck here. We also have Billy Crystal. You a fan of his? He does some of the funniest thing. And
he's wonderful.
We now have a way to remove birthmarks by using laser surgery, and it's really a fantastic new procedure. We'll be talking about that and a lot more when Mac and I come back with today's edition of Our Magazine.
Our state fair is the greatest state fair, and the Channel 6 Pavilion is in the heart of it all. We've got sneak previews of what's coming your way this fall on TV. Celebrity guests from Entertainment Tonight and The Oprah Winfrey Show. Live game show fun with Bob Eubanks and the all-new Newlywed Game. And Tom Ryan and Michelle Galian report each day's news live. So come out to the fair and visit the Channel 6 Pavilion in the heart of it all.
If you're allergy sensitive, your world is uncomfortable, irritating, ever threatening. For effective relief, discover the histamine blocker Benadryl, the most prescribed allergy medication ever. Benadryl, available without prescription in full 25 milligram strength. If you're allergy sensitive, discover Benadryl and Benadryl decongestant, prescription strength allergy relief from Park Davis.
Remember the days when you could go to a theater on a Saturday or Sunday and see a great film on a giant screen for only 75 cents? Well, thanks to K-Ton's Weekend Matinee, those days are back. Now for only $39.50, you can go to a theater near you every Saturday or Sunday at noon for a year and see fantastic films the way they were meant to be seen, on a big screen with big sound. classics in family entertainment like The Wizard of Oz and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Great comedy from Abbott and Costello to It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. Exciting thrillers like Steven Spielberg's The Goonies and Journey to the Center of the Earth. Yes, we're bringing back the weekend matinee for kids and kids at heart. How does it work? For more information, call the toll-free number on your screen. And when you order, we'll send you tickets to 52 family classics at less than 76 cents a film. And with every movie, you'll see a Warner Brothers cartoon and a special short. It's K-Town's Weekend Matinee at over 1,800 participating theaters. Call today and bring back the days of matinees at a theater near you.
You have to develop a relationship with his hand and take it to dinner. We're laughing about something that's in this book. The book is written by Billy Crystal. And you know, every generation has its cultural catchphrases. In the 60s, it was sock it to me. The 70s, excuse me. And now in the 80s, you know what it is. Darling, you look marvelous. It's right. Everybody knows that. It's a phrase that was spawned, or I should say has spawned a record, a video, and now a book called What Else? Absolutely marvelous. Let's welcome the marvelous author, Billy Crystal. We were waiting for the camera to go on. We were looking through Dr. Green, Dr. Stanley Green, the famous sex therapist, and this call-in service on the radio. People, I guess, this has become the catchphrase of the 80s. Must make you real happy.
It's very nice. You never expect something that you improvise in a rehearsal to take off and have everybody saying it to you, but everybody.
Yeah, was Fernando's Hideaway, did I read somewhere where it was your brother's idea?
Well, my brother Richard at the time, who was on the show with me once, we did a series on siblings, was a writer on a variety show that had an NBC. And I was fooling around with Fernando around the studio. No, I was, darling. And talking to the people like that. And we were talking about a way to use him. Because when I'm in his character, I can improvise. And I was talking to all the writers and guests, and Richard said, why don't we do a talk show where you just go and we'll call it Fernando's Hideaway. It was a great idea, and that's how it happened. But it's like everybody. I was in a Chinese restaurant last night in the maitre d'. Oh, you look marvelous! Oh, you're marvelous, man. Oh, you know you... So it's like everybody. Like when I came in, a stagehand, right as we got out of the car. Hey, man, you the marvelous man. Now, the worst and the best, worst, the total picture of what this was becoming was, I was at a Knicks basketball game in Madison Square Garden, New York, and I'm sitting near the scorers in the first row, taking pictures of the game. It was about 2 years ago, and Bernard King, the great Knicks star, was at the foul line, double overtime, scorers tied, they had played 50 minutes. Maurice Cheeks of the Philadelphia 76ers, their great backcourt star, is walking up the court. He's so exhausted, and I'm taking a picture of him. And he looks over, he noticed the camera, and then he sees me. And he goes, hey, it's the marvelous man! Hey, Bernard, don't shoot! Look who it is! And 19,000 people went like, what's he doing? It was the funniest thing. But it's very nice, because it's a nice thing to say to somebody.
You know, I didn't realize this until my producers had given me some background material on you. You were scheduled to go on the first Saturday Night Live, and for whatever reason, you were bumped and didn't ever go back on it, I suppose, until the second time around, or did you?
I was bumped I was a guest.
Yes.
On the very first show, and that happens. I mean, you know, with your show, you run too long in a segment.
Well, the Carson show's the same way,
yeah. Yeah, you get bumped. So it would have been my first television show.
I don't know, I was just wondering if you had gone on then and did all the things you did much later, because we're talking 10 years ago.
Yeah, and I went on from there to do the Howard Cosell variety show, which was then on Saturday nights at 8 o'clock. I was doing that show right here, the Bazzini Brothers. It was wild with juggling and Shamu the killer whale. Here, it was very bizarre. And then I did do an appearance on Saturday night in 1976, but that I had moved out here and then was doing soap for a long time. And I never had, and that's part of what the book is about. I never had the career I thought I wanted to have, or felt I could have, because of all the things I ended up doing on Saturday night 10 years later.
Now wait, but say that again. You didn't think you had the career that you should have had.
Wait, I recognize my voice. I know I said that. All those years that I was doing soap,
Yeah.
Which was a big hit and a terrific show. My mind was always back in New York, going, I should be doing that show.
Mm-hmm.
And then it took my hosting Saturday Night Live leading into 2 seasons ago. It worked for me, finally.
And just, what, 1 year?
I did 1 year
and
on the
bingo,
show.
everything's off to the races. A video, you got a movie.
The movie Running Scary, which is out now and is a big hit.
Your dad did not live to see you become the success. He died when you were quite young.
I was
in the
15,
teens. Yeah. But your mom, is she still alive?
Oh, yeah. My mother when we were growing up, the three of us, there's 2 brothers and myself, I'm the youngest, the living room was where you started performing. When the relatives would come over, my room was a small house. My room was the room for the coats. When people would come, they'd drop the coats on the bed. So that made it the wardrobe room, you know, for me. So I would put on their coats and go out and stand on the table and imitate them. You know, I would imitate all my relatives, you know. That's where I started doing people I still do.
Like whom?
My Uncle Mac. Right. Does the bus leave at 5? Huh? And I would do that as a little kid, and they would give me... What? I had the piece of fish. Then they just sit quiet and do... And my relatives, he would love wrestling. They would love to watch professional wrestling because they thought it was real. They thought it was really happening. Bite them in the backside. Where's the referee when you need one? So I would do them. They would give me dimes. Those are my first paying jobs with the living room. They would give me dimes, and I'd stick them on my head. And they would stick. And when my forehead was filled up, the show was over. But what I tried to do in this book, and I wrote the book with a wonderful writer named Dick Schaap.
Yeah,
and Dick has written some of the best-selling sports books. And Dick introduced me to Muhammad Ali in 1974. And there's a story in Dick's forward is Ali was the man of the year in 1974. He had just won a heavyweight title, again, beating George Foreman, a big upset. And they needed somebody to be the MC for a big dinner for Ali. And I was totally unknown.
Yeah, there's a picture in here of you at the podium, and he's sitting next to you. His head is on the table.
Yeah.
He's just dying.
Well, no one had ever done him before, and Dick introduced me. And I'm sitting in between Franco Harris, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Gino Marchetti, who just the name tells you how big this guy is. He was in 2 different area codes, I'll tell you that right now. I look like his pinky ring, and he introduced me as Ali's closest and dearest friend. And I walked up and did, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming to you live from Africa, because he'd just beaten George Foreman, and Ali fell apart. Then I did him. It was the first time I had done him, which was, at the time, his voice was a little hard. Everybody's talking about Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier's ugly. I want to talk about Joe Frazier. And Ali fell apart, and we become friends instead. And then, so I worked on the book with Dick.
Well, the new movie is Running Scared. Who's your co-star in that?
Gregory Hines.
Gregory Hines, great dancer and super.
He's a wonderful actor too.
Yeah.
It's Peter Hyams directed, and I'm very excited about it.
Wish you luck with the new
Thank
video,
you.
the book, everything. Life is very sweet. Please say hello to Janice. I know how important she is in your life.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for
without, well, you know too. I mean, without a strong wife, there's no you. So it's working out pretty good. And Dr. Horton, I watched that show. You know, when I was on the road all the time, Days of Our Lives, no matter where you are, hotel, boom, Mickey, what's happening to Mickey? Oh, this was years ago. He had amnesia, and he came back, an evil twin. It's fabulous.
I must tell you, when I got started, Danny Kaye was bumped from his first dressing room into a dressing room with me and Lady in the Dark.
Really?
And from then on, he's had nothing but the best dressing rooms. So getting near to me, even this near, will be double good for you.
Well, then let me touch you a little bit.
Thank you, George. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
How to get the best medical care for your pet next.
Look at the kayak pools. Right now, you can own a beautiful 24-foot pool with a patio deck for only $59 a month.
$59 a month? So!
Kayak Summer Explosion.
Wow! Call 1-800-THE-POOL.
Look at our beautiful 24-by-12 oval pool with a carpeted patio deck, fencing, and filter for only $89 a month.
$89 a month? So!
Now, if your heart is set on an in-ground, you can get a 28x14 in-ground pool kit that includes a deluxe filter system for only $27.95.
Only $27.95? Sold!
Call 1-800-THE-POOL. It's an explosion of values at Kayak this summer.
Wow!
Right now, Kayak award-winning pools are on sale. And if you act now, we'll give you 7.9 interest rate. Kayak's newest exclusive feature, the Kayak Spectrum, a constantly changing multicolored fiber optic lighting system. These underwater lights will create that perfect nighttime atmosphere.
Call now. You know the number.
1-800-THE-POOL.
Friends, we're having a big showroom floor sale, Bill Swad Chevrolet. Because we have 600 brand new cars and trucks at the old price, we can offer you a brand new 1986 Chevette, full price, only $4,999. And don't forget, General Motors has still got 5.9% financing available. $6,399 for the Spectrum. The Nova, $6,999. You know, this car is built by Toyota and General Motors in California. It's the same car as a Toyota Corolla. A person's brain would have to be sucking swamp water to pay $1,000 or $2,000 more for a Toyota.
They're heartless, loveless, shameless, aimless, faceless, fearless, lifeless, listless, tasteless, topless, breathless, brainless, hairless, careless, weightless, dateless, senseless, relentless, and ruthless people. Rated R. It's
now showing at a theater near you.
Whether he goes by Fred or Stanley or Scruffy Ferber, a loyal pet ranks right up there with all the other members of a family. So when it comes to health care, why shouldn't he deserve the best? Watch. The year was 1910, and the New York Animal Medical Center opened its doors. It started as a dispensary for poor people's pets, and the first patient was a cat whose tail had gotten caught in a door. It's now open to all pets, and over 60,000 animals benefit the tender, loving care here each year. It's as large as a city hospital, 8 floors of services for any and all pets.
His name is Louis Napoleon Tchotchkala, Tchotchke for short. And he's here for an operation. He's going to have an operation on Tuesday for a stone.
His name is Rudy. And he's an Italian Greyhound. He's 14 years old. And he's here because he's been limping. And they don't know why. They think it may be arthritis.
What's special here? Everything. The Animal Medical Center treats all kinds of animals and offers everything from pet dentistry to dermatology and from behavior therapy to acupuncture.
The Animal Medical Center offers a lot of different facilities. We have services for dermatology, ophthalmology, several different surgical services, neurology, an exotic animal service, cancer, just a multitude of different services.
There are more than 70 veterinarians here, but Catherine Quisenberry has one of the most interesting jobs, care of exotic animals.
What I do is treat everything that doesn't bark or meow. Basically, we treat a lot of birds, a lot of reptiles, snakes, iguanas, things like that. We see a lot of ferrets, rabbits.
He's Chuck, and he has a virus, and he's 2, and he weighs 14 pounds. He's a house rabbit. He takes care of my house in Connecticut. And he's litter trained. It's very easy to train rabbits. Is that your doctor? Hi.
For dogs like Stanley, the Animal Medical Center has meant a longer life. Stanley and Barney, a sheepdog from New Jersey, are both patients in the center's cancer clinic.
We first noticed a lump on his neck, and then I took him to my vet to have that checked, and he took out the lymph node and felt it was cancer, and recommended we come here, because they, do the best job here for them. So that was 4.5 years ago, and originally they had said he would have about, I think, 8 to 10 months with therapy is the general amount of time they give, but it's 4.5 years, so it was worth coming.
Are you Mr. Adams?
An Adams, yes.
Okay, I'm looking for an Adams with a cat with an ulcer. Are you Adams with a cat with the ulcer? Okay.
An Adams, yeah.
The dedication of pet owners is evident here. Animals are brought from all over the country for special problems. Their owners want the most up-to-date treatment available and the best chance for long life and good health because, after all, a pet is a member of the family.
We've had this dog since we got married. We bought him as a puppy when we had no money and nothing that we could afford, and he was like our first baby.
We consider our dog our son. He's well known to the family as the adopted son, more or less.
It's been called the Mayo Clinic for Animals. The thousands of pets who are brought here each year may not know it, but they're being treated to state-of-the-art service. You could say that these are top dogs. We wish all the pets at the New York Animal Medical Center a speedy recovery, including the kitty with the ulcer. Here's what's coming up next.
Hi, I'm Tom Selleck, and I'm back to tell you more about life in Hawaii on the set of Magnum, so don't go away.
Here are two great tasting dishes from Taco Bell. The taco salad and the new seafood salad. Each comes in a crunchy bowl you can eat. Now Taco Bell introduces its newest dish, Corningware. It's just $1.79 when you buy either a taco salad or seafood salad. That's a $6 savings. So hurry in for a bowl you can eat and a Corningware bowl you can keep from Taco Bell. Just make sure you eat the right one.
You'll love the first bite, outrageously right. New kudos, granola snacks. Pleasing, teasing, kudos, I'm yours. I'm yours. Nutty fudge, chocolate chip, or peanut butter. Kudos, you won me over any other. Electrifying, granola fire. Simply nutritious, outrageously delicious. Kudos, I'm yours. I'm yours.
Finding yourself in a new home in a new city can mean having to find other new things too, like a new doctor for your family. Of course, the best time to find a doctor is before you need one, and Riverside Methodist Hospital is here to help. Call our physician referral service at 261-5100 and tell us the kind of doctor you need. We'll give you the names of several physicians in your area who are accepting new patients. The final choice is yours, of course. Our physician referral service, a free service of Riverside Methodist Hospital.
Darling, your mama said it'd be days like this.
But every day?
Good thing you've got Dixie Livingware.
You know it.
Yes, I do. Livingware goes from the microwave...
straight to the table.
Don't try that with a foam plate.
Daddy, you got this.
On Livingware you can, sweetheart. And the plastic coating means...
it won't soak through.
And you used to use Livingware just for picnics.
Is this your idea of a picnic?
Every day's easier, honey, with affordable Dixie Livingware.
You said it.
Rent the Rug Doctor for professional results at a fraction of the cost. The vibrating brush removes deep down dirt. Rug Doctor, steaming mad at dirt.
I am delighted to welcome back for the second day a man who almost single-handedly is responsible for bringing back the Hawaiian shirt. And I think most women would agree that he certainly does it justice. Last year, he received the Emmy Award for Best Male Actor for his work in Magnum P.I. You know who I'm talking about, so why do we dabble on like this? Please welcome Tom Selleck. You know, in our chat yesterday, we started off by talking about growing up in Southern California, your parents, and one of the things I wanted to ask you was, do they still treat you sometimes like Little Tom? I mean...
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy.
Or Thomas William when my mom
I
was
actually
mad.
get, for my mom, don't you think it's time to go to bed?
Yeah, well, you know, and I'm now doing it to my son, but I still get occasionally from my mom or my dad, you know, when I'm over at the house and I'm going to drive over the hill or I'm visiting them and going back to my place, and my dad will say, you know, you sure you don't need a sweater or a jacket, Tom?
Isn't that great?
So, well, it's great. Yeah, it makes me feel right at home.
Yeah. Yesterday we talked about living up to the contract, 7 years, and as far as what you would like to do if you had your druthers, what would it be, filming careers?
Well,
a career in film?
A life doing a series is a bit unnatural, as you know, and it really is 70 or an 80-hour week for me, and I've been doing that for 6 years, and I'm tired. I'm not tired of the show, but I get tired from it. So I'll just have to look at, you know, the network may not want us after 7 years. That's a possibility, but I'll just have to look at things. I don't know many actors in the business that wouldn't love to do films if they could, because you can do a film or two a year if you're really lucky, and make a living and still have time for family and
yeah, but
everything else.
Can you be on a television series and do films as well and expect them to do as well as they would if you weren't doing a TV series? I mean, have you suffered from that, do you think? The old, why should we pay to see him in movies when we can...
Well, actually, it's strange. I think I've probably, and the press, don't get me wrong, I think have been very kind to me in general. Actually, from a public standpoint, and also from a business standpoint, I thought when I got Magnum, because of the way the business had been structured, I said, well, now I'm going to be a TV actor, I'll never get to do features. And it was a little, I was ambivalent about it because I'd just been offered Raiders of the Lost Ark and couldn't do it, and because of Magnum, and I said, well, that was my one chance doing pictures. Well, it didn't turn out that way, and the business has changed a lot. And I got offered pictures I never dreamed about, and still do. So within the business, and then I thought, well, I'd had to turn down so many offers because of my availability for Magnum. I said, I'm going to get all these offers, and then by the time Magnum's over, everybody will be bored with me, and the offers will be gone.
But is that a risk you run?
It sure is, and it was a risk I was real well aware of. Now I'm seeing offers still coming in, which is great, and people still want me to work for them in films. So I'm starting to think, just like I wasn't willing to admit Magnum was a hit for a long time, starting to think those offers will be there when I'm gone. I think the press, and rightly so, is a tough jury when you go into features, and I'm not so sure they want to. Feature films are special, as TV is, in their own rights, and I'm not so sure they want to make it that easy for somebody to jump to the other medium, and I think they should be a tough jury.
Hasn't most of the critical word been primarily the film? I mean, it hasn't been specific, and it hasn't been you.
Don't get me wrong, I think they have every right to criticize. The main thing that's happened, which I've done basically 3 features. I did High Road to China, and then Lassiter, and then Runaway. And all of them, actually High Road made quite a lot of money. But it was a very well-kept secret, and I don't know why, because when I was doing the publicity for Lassiter, after High Road had been out for a year, when I was off my 3 months from Magnum, I kept getting the question, well, after the failure of High Road, what do you think this picture will do? And I kept saying, well, High Road made $65 million. And they went, what? And so everybody was very surprised at it. The only thing I'm real proud of, and which has helped me a lot, is nobody's lost any money on me. And there's not that many people that, all my pictures have made money, which is important to me. Oh, yeah.
From Tom.
Yeah, I'm still learning. You know?
So like the first picture and the second picture out, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to do them all over, but I'm actually pretty pleased with all 3 of them. The only, and I think they were criticizable, but the only thing I don't particularly like is when a reviewer reviews a picture for something it doesn't try to be. You know, if a picture is meant to be entertainment and light, then if he reviews it as a picture that should make a statement, that's not really quite fair, because you never start out to do
let's talk about trying to be something they're not to be. Yesterday when you took the sweater off, everybody screamed and hollered, and you went,
it's pretty exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And then when he almost put it back on, wasn't that something? But boy, I got a reaction from you just like that. After that scream, you said, oh, no, it's not that.
Well, those things can look pretty staged.
You're uncomfortable with that, aren't you?
Well, I've never, I mean, I remember when I supported myself largely in between my unsold pilots doing commercials, you know, filmed commercials. I sold a lot of products. Not as Tom Selleck, as some actor or escort or whatever it took. But I remember the interviews where I had to go out and they said they want to see what you look like in a bathing suit. And you'd have to go in somebody's office and stand there in a bathing suit. And it's, the men didn't have to do it nearly as often as women because it just didn't, I don't think there was any design in that direction other than there was a lot more call for women in bathing suits than men. But the few times I did it, I felt a lot of empathy for the girls who had to do it all the time. So I've never been very comfortable with that. And, you know, and from the moment Magnum came on the air, the character had one thing. He lives in Hawaii. People don't wear a lot of clothes there. And he swims. When he's got a problem, he'll go out and swim. Now, I had to do that in a bathing suit, and I didn't really consider that exploitive. And I get all these questions in interviews saying, why do you run around with your shirt off all the time if you don't think your show is beefcake? And I'd say, well, do you like Hill Street Blues? I do. I said, turn it on every week, and you got two people in the bed with Dan Trevani with his shirt off. And I love Dan, and I love his work. And I don't consider Hill Street exploitive, but I don't know why that happened. It's not really a cross to bear, so it's fine. It's embarrassing.
You're basically uncomfortable with that.
Well,
with
it's
that
embarrassing.
Image. Well, you're shy? Is that it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Most actors I know are.
They seem to be.
Yeah.
Very reticent.
Not all actors I know. I think I am a little bit.
You're doing fine today.
Yeah, well, I'm not even sweating today.
All right. We're going to take a short break, and we will conclude our three-part series with Tom Selleck tomorrow. But right now, we've got some messages, and we'll be back with more Hour Magazine.